right, my fellow diamonds, you have reached diamond, so you already know how to do this business, or you wouldn't be a diamond. Actually, you can get to diamond pushing really hard all by yourself. Some of you know this really, really well, maybe too well, right? It's a lot easier to get to diamond and maintain diamond and move on to blue and presidential if you have other people that have taken up reins and are running their own show, running their own business. Ultimately, that's what I want to talk about the next few minutes, is looking for people that are influencers or people that enroll, right? People that go out and do what you've done. Now, as a diamond and above, you already know all the basics. You know how to enroll people. You know how to share the product. Finding people that want the product really isn't hard. Everybody needs the product. If they breathe, if they fog a mirror, they qualify, right? They need the product. So that isn't a difficult thing at all. But you and I as leaders, we need to make sure that we're staying in the creation phase. Leadership isn't about a status or a title. It's about you and I as leaders always staying in that momentum phase or creation phase, sharing, sampling, teaching, helping to build and support our existing teams and bring in new team members, right? So we want to model the behavior at all times. So if we're out teaching our team members how to go out and recruit and build and find influencers, then we should be doing likewise, right? So first comment here, and this one is huge to me. Don't spend all of your time looking for the right person. We get caught up in this a lot. We get caught up in you'll hear people on your team say this: if I could just find the right person, that would just come in and they just build and they just do everything right. And we spend all of our time looking for that right person. Stop it. Stop it. They don't just generally materialize. Is it possible? Sure, it maybe happens once in a while, but that's not the norm. Most of our best builders, as you guys already know, started as customers, started as people that just fell in love with the product. They used the product, maybe had no intention of doing the business ever. In fact, a lot of them may have been very vocal about that, right? That they like the product, but no interest in the business. And we all understand that transition that happens that actually brings them into the business. So the danger here is that you and I spend all of our time looking for the right person that's going to do the business and neglecting all the masses of people that will use our product and love it and could develop into that leader or that builder if we gave them a little bit of TLC, right? A little bit of time. And so be mindful of that. So that's the number one thing I want to share is don't spend all your time looking for that right person. We want to teach the 3 C's. What are the 3 C's? The first C stands for a consultant. The second one stands for a customer. And the third one is a connector. Everyone fits into one of those 3 categories, right? They either will become a consultant and work with us in our business, can become a customer using the product, we have lots of those, or be a connector or someone that will tell other people, that will network with us, tell other people about what you're doing and what your product is. There's a rule called the rule of 6, and I don't know if it's scientifically based or if it's just something that's been talked about. Maybe it is, I don't know, but it makes sense, so I'll share it with you. And the rule of 6 says this: you can meet anyone on this planet by talking to the people that you already know and them talking to someone they know, who then talks to someone they know, that by the time you hit the 6th person, you generally can meet anyone on planet Earth by the 6th person. That shows how closely networked we are as a society, as the human race. And so, again, whether that's scientifically based, I don't know, but it does make sense that you can meet anyone in your sphere of influence and their sphere of influence and their sphere of influence. Okay, take that out 3 more times, and it's pretty impressive. My own experience in building with doTERRA and in building prior to doTERRA is that a lot of the depth of leadership, in fact, most of the time it was not the people I knew. It was not the people I knew. Sometimes, but mostly it was somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody, and that's where that leadership developed and grew. And so had I not been mindful of my consumers, my customers, and had I ignored my connectors, then I would have never been able to find those people. So as we're out teaching and sharing, keep the 3 C's in mind. They're going to be a consultant or a customer or a connector. Okay, one of the 3. They're going to either be a wellness advocate, customer, or a connector. All right, some of the things you want to keep an eye out for while you're building your customer base and while you're sharing the product. You are going to keep an eye open for those that show an interest in the business. Now, what you're really looking for are they hungry? Now, obviously, I don't mean physically hungry, right? It's not lunchtime. Are they hungry for change? Do they want something desperately to change in their life for the better? I would take a single mom with 3 kids having a hard time making rent versus a successful doctor who's very comfortable in his lifestyle and living. I would take the single mom hands down because she's hungry, right? She's hungry for change. She's going to be passionate. She's going to be willing to commit to paying the price, whereas possibly I wouldn't have that in that other scenario. So we're looking to see if they're hungry. Are they honeable, meaning teachable? That's another huge thing. Okay, they've got to be teachable, because if they come in unteachable, then we're going to spend time and energy, and it's going to be tiring and burdensome and frustrating, and it's just not going to work out. There's certain things we do in doTERRA that work. We're looking for people to teach that to duplicate what's already been proven. So, are they hungry? Are they honeable? And are they honorable? Or are they honest? Do they mean what they say? Do they do what they say? Do they keep their word? Are they an honorable, trustworthy person? So I'm looking for those 3 H's, right? As I'm sharing product, building up a customer base, I'm looking for those 3 H's. Are they hungry? So keep an eye out for those 3 H's as you're out sharing and building, okay? It will identify people, do they have greater potential? All right, some other categories of people that have greater potential for success as a doTERRA wellness advocate and becoming a sharer or a builder. Obviously, we're looking for people that are generally unsatisfied with their career. There are a lot of those. They're looking to be led. A lot of people, leadership is a real, how do I word this? There is a huge demand for true leadership, purposeful, passionate, driven, cause-oriented leadership in our society. And people are hungry for that, even though they may not realize it, they really are. And so when they discover that, they want to be led by that person. And so we're looking for those people, looking for those that are looking to be led, looking for those who want to be driven to accomplish amazing results in their lives. Entrepreneurs are great candidates in general. We have an entrepreneurial spirit. It's been said that an entrepreneur is someone who will work 80 hours a week for themselves before they'll work 40 hours a week for someone else. And I think that's totally an accurate description, right? A great way to identify potential entrepreneur leaders. A lot of us do trade shows and different types of events like that. The other vendors, if you're doing a trade show, the other vendors are actually the best candidates there. Okay, they've already shown they're an entrepreneur. They're already running their own thing, and you don't want to detract from what they're doing, of course, but get their information, maintain contact with them. They're phenomenal prospects. Those who work in health and wellness or the personal care fields, that goes without saying. Again, direct with the product. I often will get the question, how can I get into a business, or how do I get into this spa or hospital or clinic or whatever? The traditional way doesn't work. Okay, traditionally what people would do is go in and meet with a sales manager or meet with a purchasing manager and go through the front door, right? Well, those businesses are so accustomed to people coming through the front door to sell them stuff that just the fact that you came through the front door means you're probably not going to have great results, right? So what does work, however, when you're wanting to share with those types of businesses is you have to create a relationship with someone that already works there, okay? Create a relationship with someone that works there, have them be your door or your key to get in to sharing the product with the decision makers. And so those folks can be a great addition to your business as well. We're looking for people, again, trying to identify some builders. They've got to commit to at least 15 hours a week, okay? 15 hours a week working the business of productive rainmaker activities. So that's not 15 hours a week of watching cat videos on YouTube. Okay, that does nothing. I know I've ruined your whole day, right? No, it's 15 hours of contacting, sharing, follow-up, classes, phone calls, things that actually move, getting product on people. That's what builds our business. That's what grows doTERRA. It's the oils, it's not us. So 15 hours of that minimum, that's the minimum, right? If that commitment can't happen, then this is not a builder. Teachers are great candidates for our profession as well because they come from an environment of having to keep things simple to teach to their students, to these young boys and girls, to make it simple so they understand it, to teach at a 5th grade level. So they naturally are super good at our profession, and they have more flexible hours. They have summers open where they can share the oils and flexible hours throughout the rest of the year. So teachers are phenomenal candidates. Just for brainstorming there, right? We're looking for people that we can help release their potential. And unfortunately, when some people get started with our business, if we can't help them create a positive experience right in the beginning, so it sends the message to their subconscious brain that this is working, if we can't do that in a short amount of time, often they're just 1 or 2 negative experiences away from disengaging or quitting the business, right? Seldom do they ever quit the product. Everyone loves the product. We all know that. Enough said there. But we want to keep them engaged in the business. So we need to make sure that we're teaching and that our people are teaching, that folks have to have, those that are engaged in the business from the day they make that choice, need to have that positive experience in those initial first days and weeks to show them that, yes, this is working and moving forward. And that will help us to create that momentum that's going to attract builders, right? It's going to attract more of the type of people you're looking for. Now, this next statement I'm going to make, this can cause self-introspection. Ready? You recruit who you are. You recruit who you are. So if you're looking, it's the law of attraction, right? If you're looking to bring in this great new awesome builder, you have to be that. Okay, you have to be that first because you will attract those people to you by nature of who you are. Okay, I often tell a story about different kinds of animals relating to different kinds of personality types and how you want to be a rhino, right? You want to be a rhino because rhinos are thick-skinned and they're tough and they have all these leadership attributes that you want to have as a leader, and they're amazing animals. And the reality is we're all out there fishing looking for rhinos, but you can't catch one unless you are one. And that's a reality that causes you and I to look in the mirror. And Dave Ramsey, one of my teachers and mentors, and some of you probably heard of him, he's very popular, great radio guy, and lots of awesome books. He taught me a number of months ago that if any problem in your business, the cause and the solution can generally be found by looking in the mirror. Oh, right. We don't want to hear that, right? But it's so true. And so whatever the challenge or problem is in your business, do that self-introspection. Become that person, right? Become the influencer, and you'll attract influencers to your organization, to your team, okay? Be the culture that you want your team. Let your team's culture, not just doTERRA's culture, but your team culture, let that attract and create and bring those people to you. It absolutely works. Talking about culture, there's an exciting change happening in the doTERRA culture starting September 1st of 2016, and that's probably already happened by the time you watch this video, so you already know about it. But I want to talk about what the meaning of wholesale customer is and how that changes our strategy. As you all know, 80% plus of the members of doTERRA truly are customers, right? They've never enrolled someone else. They order the product regularly. It's for their own use, their own consumption. So whether they show as a wellness advocate in the system or some other customer type, they really are just a consumer, right? A customer. So for a long time, you and I have been telling everyone, enroll as a wellness advocate. That's the best price. It's the best deal. It's the best thing for you. And it really is. We now have the option to offer all those benefits to just people who truly want to be a customer, and that's the new wholesale customer account. Now, why I'm so excited about this is because of what this allows us to do. So a wholesale customer gets all of the benefits of a wellness advocate. They get the wholesale price. They do have the $35 enrollment fee still, just like wellness advocates do. They get the wholesale price. They can do LRP. They can take advantage of promotions and incentives that the company does from time to time. They get their own back office. It is a limited back office, though, just for ordering, right? For placing their own orders or managing their LRP order. So they still have that. They do not have the ability to ever earn a commission check or have a team or downline underneath them, because they are purely, in every sense of the word, a customer, right? Now, you and I, as leaders, can use this new customer type to put where needed the sales volume, right? If it's in a specific leg. Fast Start is paid on this to the enroller, so that's one important thing to note. And these folks will count in our Power of 3 structure as well. So that's also an important thing to note. Now, keep in mind, if you are using them in Power of 3 structuring, they cannot have a downline or team under them. So be aware of that, because if you're thinking, well, we'll have some people enroll under them, that doesn't work because they are a customer. Now, at any time, they can upgrade to a wellness advocate simply by going into their back office, finding the upgrade button, putting in their tax ID information, their social security number, and that will upgrade them free of charge to wellness advocate, where then they can start doing the business, sharing, enrolling, doing all of that good stuff, right? Now, here's where the strategy change happens, in my opinion. I think we should enroll everyone initially as a customer, unless they show from the very beginning that they have an interest in the business right from the get-go. Okay, then obviously enroll them as a wellness advocate from day one, right? Now, part of my reasoning here to start everyone as a wholesale customer, okay, number one, I love the term, okay? I want to be a wholesale customer. I want to get the best price. Just those two words together are a win, okay? It's an easy conversation to have, right? So that's one thing. Number two, as you and I have already discussed, most of our builders develop into that later. They want to just use the product initially. So the company has given us this amazing opportunity to have a little extra time to move these folks. So this is how it's going to work. When someone enrolls as a wholesale customer, we have that same 14-day window that we're all used to with wellness advocates, where we can move them within our team, and we have that 14-day window to decide where to place them, right? So that exists just the same for wholesale customers as it does for wellness advocates. The new twist or the new angle on the wholesale customer is we will have opportunity, should these people want to upgrade later, we'll have opportunity to move them a second time. Now, there is a catch to understand. If they upgrade from day 15 to day 90 of their membership with doTERRA, we have to leave them where they're currently placed. Okay, you as the enroller would have to leave them wherever they upgrade, which maybe isn't a big deal. Maybe it is. Either way, you have to leave them where they are. If they upgrade after day 90, so day 91 forward, they decide, okay, I want to do this. I'm excited about learning more about the business. Then you as their enroller would have the opportunity to then decide, another 14-day window opens, that you have the decision to decide where you're going to place them in the structure, in the organization. Okay, this is going to be revolutionary, guys, for how we teach structuring and building. This is why, for me personally, I'm enrolling everyone as a wholesale customer, okay, initially, unless, like I mentioned, they show an interest in the business from the very beginning, and then, I'll make that exception. I think it's empowering to them. It's definitely empowering for you and I, for sure. It gives us that second ability to structure. And it's a game changer, guys. Super excited about it. Take advantage of it. Reference the information on it on the company website for sure, for particulars and details. But this is culturally a game changer and really focuses in on customers, which we are a customer-driven business. And so this is powerful. Okay, let's talk about international expansion of your doTERRA business. This is a question that we come across often as well. And I think my number one comment to you, if you're looking now as a diamond, becoming blue diamond, you should be looking at expanding your business internationally. But just some words of advice and caution. Number one, don't go too soon. We have seen this just crush people when they have financially not been able to afford it and have gone into a foreign market, in particular if you don't speak the language or you don't already have a base of contacts or people to work with in that market, and they'll just up and go and live in a country, and it is not cheap, guys. It's super expensive always, and it will just be a cash drain. Just don't go too soon, okay? Don't go too soon. Take Greg Cook's advice. Think globally, grow locally, okay? Grow locally. If you want to get into Japan, for example, start eating at Japanese restaurants. Go, if you want to get your business into China, go to Chinatown. Go to Chinese restaurants. There are so many places right here in America that have connections internationally that it's extraordinary. Last year, my family and I, we were in Yellowstone Park. Haven't been there in a few years. It's always fun to go back. I grew up near that area. And we take the kids up. And seriously, I sat there for 3 days thinking, I don't need to go to Asia. They're all here. Right? I could spend my whole summer just at Yellowstone Park building my doTERRA business in Asia, because there was literally 9 out of 10 people that we saw was Chinese or Japanese. And so take advantage of those opportunities all around us here first before you do that, okay? Don't just up and go, right? We haven't seen that work, okay? So you want to create a foundation here, and then when the time is right, you can go to those markets, those countries, to meet their contacts, right? Meet those people and start to build the foundation there. We're going to talk about when that time is here in a second. You're going to need to learn the cultural differences that exist in a foreign market if you're going there. There are laws that you need to be aware of, okay? There are claims. We have claims that are permissible here in the U.S. It's different in each and every country. You need to learn what products are available. Not everything is available everywhere, okay? And so that's important to know. Product names. In some countries, the product name is different. DDR Prime here in the U.S., in Europe, is called Novo Prime. Why? I have no idea. Probably some legality. So there's several products that have different names, so you'll need to learn those. There can be comp plan differences. Generally worldwide there is not. But in Korea, for example, Korea actually has some laws limiting the amount of money that we can pay. And we had to reduce our commission plan in Korea because it paid out more than the legal law permits. And so there's some adjustments there. There's some tweaks to the compensation plan there. So it's good to be mindful of that globally, right? So learn those cultural differences. Be mindful if you're going to a foreign market that speaks a different language. If you don't speak that language, you're going to need translation. And you're going to have to get comfortable with ping pong translating, where you speak for a moment or two and then wait for the interpreter to do the translation, and then speak for a moment or two. And if you've never done that, it's really challenging the first few times, because you're not able to get into a flow or a rhythm because you're constantly stopping, but you really don't have any other choice, right, to get your message across. And so be mindful of that ping pong. Also, super important, humor does not translate. Okay, so don't try and tell jokes or be funny, because it never works. Okay, you'll say it and you'll think it's funny, and the translator will say it and you'll have crickets. And just realize that either they didn't say it right or it wasn't funny to them to begin with. And so don't worry too much about that in the foreign markets. Now, before you look at actually going, our recommendation is that you start teaching via internet, Zoom classes, Skype classes, whatever it is, whatever platform you're using, that you start doing that until you have 5 to 10 serious folks in that market that want to share or build, okay? Once you have that, then you can be ready to make the commitment of going over there. And if you're going to go into a new market, especially, if you're going to go into a new market especially, you're going to want to commit to being there every single month for the first probably 6 to even 12 months, right? Some of our more serious builders have even gone and lived in those markets for 3-4 months straight to get things going. You have to get it to a point to where you have leaders on the ground that are duplicating you, and then you can be the special guest that comes back, once a quarter or once every 6 months, whatever it is, for special events and training. Once you have that leadership duplicated on the ground. So you want to make sure and promote Founders Club if it's still available in the market you're looking at. A lot of the markets that's already gone, but if it is still available, that's a huge, huge perk to talk about. Ultimately, you want to grow your people and allow people to grow the team. Okay, did you catch that? Grow your people and allow the people to grow the team. That's what we're looking to do here. That's what we're looking to do in our international markets. You want to be confident enough to give away your power. Let me say that again. Be confident enough to give away your power, and don't drink your own bathwater, guys. Your number one job is to work your way out of a job and to lead leaders who lead. That is what we're looking to create, both internationally and locally. So allow that to happen and empower and embrace these new up-and-coming leaders. Enjoy your journey to Blue Diamond. It's awesome.